Welcome to Finding Monster Rights, the event about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I have lit the torch and we have begun.
Bum ba da dum bum da da dun dun da da. How does the music go?
I don't know, but please keep stalling. The name of this episode is very long, and we have to get it right on the first try.
My name is Dr. Michael Morbius. I was just a regular guy named Dr. Michael Morbius. And then all this vampire shit happened. What are the odds? Right? Anyway, here's my story. Bum. You'll never be a vampire, Dr. Michael Morbius. You normal guy. You'll see. You will all see.
I'm glad you're one of the 5 people that saw the movie this past weekend.
Well, I just had to get out there and what I did was I sat in the front row and I sat backwards and just kind of inhaled everybody's COVID juices flying in my face.
Trust me, no one else was in that theater.
Just like Morbius would. Like my personal hero, Morbius.
No one else was in the theater, I guarantee it. It's the quietest place to be in this world. The Morbius screaming. I'm Adam.
I'm Allie.
And we're here to present some games of sorts.
Yes.
Specifically...
Baba Yaga and Frau Holle at the Old-ympic Winter Grams.
We should be arrested for this title alone. This is our biggest crime title.
We should be arrested for a lot of stuff.
I want to go back to very low, low concept in the coming months here, because
we're only just taking 2 witches from European folklore and competing them in a winter-themed grandmother Olympics.
Based off of Mario's Sonic game. How
is that high concept?
So yeah, a lot of elements at play here, but it's going to be Russia versus Germany in a battle of the old grannies that have winter themes to them, as we wave goodbye to winter ourselves.
Yeah, it's April.
Yeah, it's goodbye to winter.
Okay, goodbye to winter. So,
would you like to kick us off with the one that everyone knows?
the one that everyone knows, Baba Yaga.
Yes.
Baba Yaga, possibly. At some point, I thought that was the more correct pronunciation. I think it is.
If you ask me, it's one of those Frankenstein things where it's like enough people said it that way that I think technically it's correct.
True. So, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga was believed to originally have been a goddess of kind of the hearth and of time and of darkness and winter and kind of like the transition from youth into adulthood. And during Christianization, she kind of got turned into, mythologically, into a witch.
All this, she got kind of the witchy baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and the way that she's survived to this day is through those folkloric stories.
Right.
Not so much the true nature of her.
Right. So, one story collected by Alexander, what's his name? Alfarnasov?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a Russian folklorist who collected a storybook called Russian Fairy Tales, modeled after the Brothers Grimm.
Oh! Yeah, them.
But I got that on my system.
Yeah, okay. I had a couple squirts left.
Somewhere along the multiple song parodies, wailing in a German accent that are really funny to do and not funny to listen to at all, that I might have to chop down in editing significantly.
We might just be able to cut it straight up and release it as an extra somewhere hidden on the internet.
I was thinking about releasing the full cut.
Okay.
But leaving a bit in. Okay, so he collected these and modeled them after the Brothers Grimm collections. And the one story that I wanted to mention from Baba Yaga was a story called Vasilisa the Beautiful.
Yes.
Which is a Russian fairy tale with a lot of Cinderella vibes.
That's what I got from hearing it earlier.
Yeah, so polish up your glass slippers, because it's about to get Cinderella up in this. So, Vasilisa was a girl, and she was the daughter of a man and a woman.
Could it be any more obvious?
So, Vasilisa's mother was dying.
As many heroine mothers do.
She handed Vasilisa a doll, and she said to give the doll like a little bit to eat and a little bit to drink and ask it for advice and for help every night.
Mm-hmm.
And not to tell anyone about the doll, not to tell like even her father about the doll's existence.
So she had a secret doll.
Yeah, and then the mother went and died,
mm-hmm.
as mothers do, as heroine moms do. She shot up into heaven, and
it's the best way to go to heaven.
Yeah, or I forget what the afterlife is in Slavic paganism. I think you just like go to some place where like the storks take babies from,
which ain't bad.
Yeah, baby place.
Well, all the monsters on Earth in those stories are all terrible, so I assume it's got to be of a higher quality.
True. So, Vasilisa's father ends up remarrying this widow with 2 daughters.
I've heard this one before.
Yeah, wicked stepmother.
Mm-hmm. And when the wicked stepdaughters are all, they're at war with each other in the household.
Yeah, the wicked stepmother and the wicked stepdaughters, they hate Vasilisa because she's so pretty, and they try to make her less pretty by subjecting her to all this manual labor. But it doesn't work, and they get uglier because of all their spite, and she gets prettier because really, the doll is doing all of her work for her.
Oh, she's the Rumpelstiltskin out.
Yeah, and so then eventually, like the sisters like get fed up with all this, and they're like, you know what? Then they like set out. They like blow out an oil lamp,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh, you go to Baba Yaga
for a big lamp.
Yeah, like go to Baba Yaga for a light. Like that's where you need to go. So Vasilisa takes the doll, and then Baba Yaga is a witch. Who
very tall in stature?
Tall in stature. She has a long iron nose that is said to be so long that it can touch the roof of her hut while she's lying down in it. But that might just be like a funny exaggeration.
Yeah, I think she has a bunk bed.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's also said that she can reach all of the walls of her apartment by all the walls of her hut by like laying down on the floor and reaching out with her legs and hands, which is also a way of saying that she's tall.
We are in a sound booth right now, so it's very easy to demonstrate.
Yeah. She has like bony, thin legs that might be literal bones.
Yes, it's unclear.
And the hut itself is quite famous.
You've probably seen it in several pieces of fiction. It's got the chicken legs that come out the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's got the chicken legs that come out the bottom of it. Sometimes it's like hundreds of normal-sized chicken legs. Sometimes it's 2 big honking legs.
Which I much prefer.
What if they would taste good?
Is it better if they were like dinosaur legs? Because of the chicken ancestry?
I mean, big chicken legs are just dinosaur legs.
You know what? I think we're technically... Okay, we're good.
Yeah. So also this hut is protected by a fence made of human bones and skulls.
Arms of men and hold the gate taut, and legs of men make up the rest of it.
Yeah, and the handle, the lock, is just like a pointy-toothed skull.
And it's got skulls on all the pauldrons.
And all the eyes glow and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also the hut spins around on the legs, and the only way to get it to stop is to say like, oh, hey, hut. Turn your back to the forest and the front to me, or something like that. Like it's password protected.
That's the spinning hut's my new metaverse character.
Yeah.
So,
what is the metaverse? I don't even know.
You're better off not knowing. It's like what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg's.
No, never mind. Okay. So I was so intrigued, and then so not. Yeah, she goes into Baba Yaga's hut, and Baba Yaga shows up just like flying around in a giant mortar and pestle. She like rides around like it's a canoe.
Yeah, that's the part that took me a while to understand. I thought at one point it was like the steering wheel.
Oh no, yeah. No, she just like has a giant mortar and pestle, and she flies around in it like it's a canoe, and the pestle is the paddle.
Well, I think that's funny because it's clearly a very round. Like that's a bad paddle.
Well, yeah, but it's not literally doing a paddle's job.
Yeah, I guess so, but why did she need to do the motion if it's not even working?
Because it's funny.
Okay. So,
she just like rocks up, and Vasilisa is like, Vasilisa does what I do when I would see a monster, which isn't like scream in horror or something, but just like kind of bow and be like, hey, listen, I was sent here to get like a light from you for like for our oil lamp. Is that a thing that you could part with for some place?
Is her response first.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, okay, listen, I can be reasonable. So, it's a 6-month internship, and you get a stipend of 1 light, and yeah. And
yeah,
so,
that's the part that I was enjoyed learning about Yaga. No, she's actually pretty like reasonable.
Yeah,
like most people live in her stories.
Yeah, true. So she she tells the girl to get to clean everything and like do all this stuff and blah blah blah, and like all this huge list of tasks, and the girl is like freaking out about it, and so she feeds her doll and gets the doll a drink, and like asks the doll for help, and the doll's like, leave it to me, and the eyes glow, and then the doll does all the tasks except preparing a big feast. And Baba Yaga is like, well, okay, I mean, look, this was mostly a joke. It's supposed to be impossible, but you did most of it. So, okay, you can have a light here. And then she like hands off the skull with the burning eyes. And then Vasilisa takes the skull back. And then once the skull sees the stepsisters, it just burns them alive.
It just turns them to cinders.
Yeah. And then Vasilisa becomes a very good weaver of tapestries and fabrics, and catches the eye of the Tsar and becomes the Tsarina.
Which is a happy ending.
Yeah. And then there's another Baba Yaga story where like something similar happens, where like father sends his daughter off to go work for Baba Yaga, and some mice help her with the chores. And then the stepmother sends her daughter, and then that daughter chases the mice away with a rolling pin and fails at all the chores. And the first daughter gets rewarded with some fine clothes and a nice letter of recommendation from Baba Yaga. And the second daughter, Baba Yaga tears her into pieces and like throws the bones into a swamp or something.
I think it's a clock.
Yeah.
She loads them up into a mechanical device that tells time. So
yeah. Baba Yaga, reasonable.
But like deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's clearly working with magics that are dark and sinister.
It's an easy A if you like put in an actual amount of effort.
And that's where people run into the problem with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's an easy A, but don't take it for granted.
She's the dark side of the coin.
Yeah.
Where Frau Holle is the light side.
Okay.
Old Mother Frost, as she sometimes is called. And she is collected in not a Russian work, but the German one. Yep, brought to you by the Grimm brothers.
Here we go.
Whoa! So as the tale goes, as collected by the Grimm Sibs, it's very, very similar, if you can believe it or not. I think it's what inspired us to tag team these two.
Which I want to point out really quick. Last episode, we talked about being the Cousins Grimm.
Cousins Grimm?
I think I want to make that our official, 90-some episodes in, I want to make that our official name. But
we're the Cousins Grimm.
But with one M.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're not actually named Grimm.
That I'm welcome, Cousin Grimm.
Welcome, Cousin Grimm.
All right.
This is a good one. Yes.
Now we have to name the fans at some point.
They're the little monsters.
I don't know. Isn't that the Gaga thing?
Am I not Lady Gaga? No one told me. I live for the applause.
So we'll revisit that. But it's about a lady and a girl. She's got a stepsister, and she's spinning by the well. She's always doing the spin and always doing the hard work. She's the disciplined one, doing all the things that her sister tells her to. She drops the spindle into the well.
Oh, no.
And she dives in after it. She's like, only one way into a well.
Plop.
She goes, doo, doo, doo. No, she falls and finds herself in some realm of winter. They're still on the ground all over the place.
The ice level.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. Like, I can't recognize all the Mario music by default, so I assume that's what you're doing. But I want to live in a universe where you just had a mental breakdown for a second there.
I just... yeah.
You just looked at me like
Frost level music. Just broken.
Okay, so...
there's a hut there, and there's an old lady tending to it. And she's doing all these chores, and she's like, oh, come, sister. Come, girl. I'm Frau Holle. Actually, she doesn't say that. But she's like, hey, I got some tasks for you to do. Why don't you do them? And she's like, okay, cool. So, she helps her with the feathers and the pillows. She helps her...
Which makes it snow.
Yes. That's her big iconography. I think equivalent to the mortar and pestle. And she sweeps up. She does some spinning for her. And she's like, oh, great. Awesome. Good job. Here's a bunch of gold. Just coats her with the gold and sends her back. And then in the real world, she's like, oh, look, I have all the money I'd ever need. And the stepsister's like, hell yeah, let me get in on that. Drops a spindle, dives in after.
Oh shit!
And she sees like, oh great, Mother Hull, great, awesome, cool. I'll do the tasks, sure. Except stepsister's lazy, doesn't complete the tasks, and Mother Hull is like, oh okay. Instead of here's your gift, she's like
a gun.
It's like Daenerys' brother, but with like pitch.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, she just like coats her with pitch, and in some versions,
a crown for a king. Ha ha ha!
In other versions, she turns her into like a hen. It's like, now it'd be good for something. Ha ha. So I think generally speaking, Mother White, as she's sometimes called, this
White Mom.
She's this wintry figure, and is a lot more. I would say it's the lightness compared to Baba Yaga's darkness. And so that's where her German origin is.
Neat. So, what are we? What's our conceit for this episode, though?
So we have taken two of these, and we said, "Hey, a winter for a winter. Let's see who's got the best frost in town." So I have compiled a list from the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. I'm sorry, Olympic Winter Games. I have no idea why they call it that in that order, but we're doing an Old-ympic Winter Grams.
So this is like who can be the best grandma.
Yeah, who can be the best grandma as determined by these skills.
Okay.
All right, the first one, alpine skiing.
I was hoping it would be like cookie baking or something, like traditional grandma tasks. But alpine skiing, okay.
I mean,
I feel like
I can convert.
Okay.
I can make this work. Downhill skiing is a lot like finding the best locations.
Okay.
How isn't that a grandmotherly task? Like knowing,
knowing the area.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's an old place. There's an old hill where we can have picnics.
I remember back then on that hill.
Yeah.
And how the fastest to travel down it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was about skiing downhill to get the fastest time.
Okay. I think Baba Yaga's got this one.
Because of her mortar and pestle?
Yeah, she can just go imagine her on the mortar and pestle going down. That's just crazy. That's like some just cackling fucking mad with the goggles and everything going on.
Yeah, I think
that's a great image.
It's a pretty good. It's pretty airtight. I will say that Frau Holle has some powers and skills. She's
can she frozen?
She might be able to. She's like a Proto-Norse goddess. So I think when it comes to her ice powers, she might have something there. But it's all about the equipment. And I think Baba Yaga is a little more adept at skis because of her mortar and pestling than Mrs. Frost might be.
Right.
So I agree that Baba Yaga definitely would get the gold in this one. Or I'm assuming that it's only these two competing.
So because gold and silver.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know the German national anthem by any chance?
I do not.
Okay, I know "Lightning Over the Tatras" a bit, where it's like, Nadia bliska blento something something cantanta rasa and like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be when Baba Yaga wins, and when when
Frau Holle?
When Frau Holle wins, it'll just be 99 Luftballons.
That works out fine. I think this is a fight
national anthem of Slovakia, by the way.
I think this is going to be a contest for silver and bronze because the grandma from Hoodwinked is going to get gold and everything.
Fair.
I don't know why that image is in my head.
Nope, there definitely is a skiing grandma from fairy tales. That's not wrong entirely.
Okay. So this one I wanted to discuss based off their physical appearance. Ski jumping.
Ooh.
So this is when you ski down and you go off a like a ramp to see if you get the furthest distance. I think this one's going to come down to weights and frailty and how coordinated they are with their bodies.
I think it might be Baba Yaga.
So you think that because I think she's often like cramped in her own home.
I think she's cramped in her own home. I think if she's outside, she can like really like stretch it out. Like she's got that like octopus energy, you know?
She's also very tall. I have not looked at the skier situation, but I think that might give her a couple more points. Although if I think between the two of these, Frau Holle is the more light and smaller one. So I wonder if that get her more air in this situation.
I don't think she's lighter.
You don't think so?
No, I think Baba Yaga is taller, but not necessarily heavier.
So she's got the height, and yeah, I can see that from my grandmother. We don't see her doing anything physical besides some tasks. So she's, I would say she's not in her peak physical condition, Frau Holle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another one for Baba Yaga. So sticking with skiing, freestyle skiing.
Freestyle skiing. I'm Baba Yaga, and I'm here to say I'm going to rap to the beat in a Slavic way, gonna swing around in my mortar and pestle. Gonna break free of this earthly vessel. Gonna break free of this earthly vessel. Got an iron nose and 2 bony knees. Some tasks that are done is what I need you to do. So, coming to what's the matter with... It's none of your business. That's what I was doing. I was doing salt and pepper. Okay.
So this one's similar to the second one.
It's the worst freestyle I've ever done, by the way. And that's a low bar.
I didn't want to judge. but if I was holding up a number, it would not be above 5.
Fair.
So freestyle skiing, it's like the last one. There's a ramp. You ski down it. You get air. This one's about spinning, doing tricks, aerials, and then landing it to see who gets the most points. Dial between the two, Frau Holle and Baba Yaga. I think Baba Yaga is going to take more risks. I think she's going to get crazy with her limbs, as you demonstrated earlier. But I think that might be to her detriment.
Yeah, I think it might be like shooting the moon a little.
And I think her landing that, especially with her odd proportions, is going to be a lot harder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where Frau Holle, while a nice grandmother, I think is going to do something safe that works.
Yeah.
Like maybe just a 360 and land it.
Well, I mean, like she can command the snows kind of. So like she can definitely get like some cool like frozen ramps going on, or like some Frozone ramps even.
And I think not just the snows, but the winter gales.
Yeah. True.
So landing that jump is going to be so much easier for her with those kinds of powers.
Yeah, I think it's Frau Holle's one.
All right. Well, going back to the hoodwinked grandma, our next one is snowboarding.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Performing rad tricks on snowboard to score points.
Just stand in the pestle. Just stand in the mortar, really.
It's still tough to compare versus the skiing. But I think mortar and pestle is a little more suited to this kind of task. Yeah. Yeah, so it's...
Turn the thing on its side and just stand on it, I guess.
And she's already, kind of set.
Yeah.
So, while coordination is not as big of a point, so, yeah. This one, Baba Yaga's got this one. In the bag, in the bob. Speaking of bobsled.
Oh.
So, complete the course in the fastest time in a bobsled. So, you know what a bobsled, it's like toboggan, you load it in the back, you cool runnings down.
Yeah.
Like around a track.
I want to say that Baba Yaga has more experience riding in a vessel, but that's all of these.
It's a lot of them.
So
there's a lot of gear. Think of skills that you might need to succeed at the bobsled.
Multiple people.
We've been... Oh, hang on.
This is a team sport.
Yes. We need at least 2 people.
It'll be Vasilisa and the 2 wicked stepsisters.
and and Frau Holle will have the girl and her stepsister.
Oh, okay. Baba Yaga's got more people on the team.
But I think that might be to her detriment. You got a little more weight behind you?
No, I think you got to have, like, 4 people for a bobsled team.
Oh, no. I might be a person down. But the stepsisters will definitely be in disagreement.
Oh, yeah, true.
So I think
they can't work as a team.
No, 2 arguing stepsisters is way better than 1 jealous stepsister.
Okay, so this cancels out, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm saying that who works it better as a team? Oh shit, my stepsister's lazy though. She's not going to be pulling her weight.
Yeah, my stepsisters are just jealous.
Yeah, they're ugly, but they work.
Yeah.
So even if they're not working well, they're still like making the distance.
I think Baba Yaga is capable as team captain of like. Well, like after the first half of the bobsledding competition,
I assume it's halves.
Like she goes back into the locker room. And she's like, "What was that?
That was some bullshit."
Okay, you stepsister 1, you need to get your head out of your ass. This is a team. This is not just about you. This is about all of us. This is about victory.
Now stop before I put your ass into a clock.
Yeah, no, it's Baba Yaga giving like.
Baba Yaga has the same Waluigi energy that I channel. I
was going for like the sports coach in the middle of the half.
I agree. I'm not talking voice specifically.
Oh, okay.
In my brain, that's what.
I was just thinking there's a better button we can put on that than I'll put your ass into a clock.
And Frau Holle is a loving, like, kind of warm grandmother. So I think she's more like, nothing wrong with getting second place. Like, so I think when a team effort, she's gonna, not come into the fold.
I think Baba Yaga's gonna clear out this competition.
Well, let's talk about a solo event that's after this that Baba Yaga is specifically at a disadvantage for. And that is the skeleton.
Oh, she loves skeletons.
While she does love skeletons, a skeleton it's like a bobsled, but there's only one person.
She'd be too tempted to take all the skeletons.
And you go forward head first.
Oh, she's got that long nose.
She's got that really long nose.
She'll go down fast.
But she can't it's about making those turns.
Oh, no. Yeah. She does not have the dynamic. She can't turn on a dime. She's like a missile.
Her angle is too rough for that. And that's a broken iron nose if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah, no.
You can't win them all, folks.
You can't be happy with that one.
So, Frau Holle will take the cake. Okay, this one we might be able to bring. Actually, I'm trying to fit cookies into one of these. It's very difficult.
We can just add some grandma events after this.
Yeah. So this one, worth bringing up. There is speed skating and figure skating.
Oh.
So 2 separate events here, and we've talked about skis and snowboards, but ice skates.
Yeah.
I think Frau Holle is natural when it comes to working on ice.
Baba Yaga, though, could, bend down, and then she could, skate on her nose and her skates.
Oh, she's got another point of
articulation, yeah.
Yeah, so, do you think she can build speed with that arrangements?
You know what? I don't think that's good for speed, but I do think that's good for saving from falling over.
So she might be able to catch herself in figure skating instead of falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Figure skating is also a lot of spins.
It's also a lot of artistic kind of stuff.
You got to add some of that arts to it.
I feel like that's more Frau Holle's.
She does all the sewing and patterns.
Yeah.
She's all about that kind of stuff.
Baba Yaga also kind of does that, but I feel between Frau Holle and Baba Yaga, who has more style?
If you ask me, if they were both creating works of art, which is what figure skating is in a sense.
Yeah.
I think Frau Holle has more, isn't as pedestrian in her endeavors. I think if she was making a dinner, it'd be real fancy. Versus Baba Yaga, which would just present a big old stew pot.
Yeah.
It's yep, this is it. And I think she would do more embroidering, and I think that translates closer. So I think Frau Holle's got figure skating, but just pure speed.
Pure speed, I think it might still be Frau Holle.
I think we found her event.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's the queen of ice. And these two are well suited for that task. Versus skiing is just a madman's endeavor.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think Baba Yaga is used to flying around and shit. But yeah, actually stopping and making the ice arts, that's her. So we've got 2 more left. Ice hockey.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, this is Baba Yaga's shit.
So Baba Yaga versus Frau Holle out on the field.
Oh, she's going to be... It's not a question of if Frau Holle is going to get pinned to the boards. It's how quickly. Which, thank God for Christianization, because you're about to get pinned to the boards.
Yeah, Baba Yaga doesn't mess around.
Yeah, no.
She'd be bludgeoning... She'd be doing whatever those really mean smacks are in hockey.
Yeah, no, she's throwing bows for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's Frau Holle. I'm sorry, your feather work isn't going to come into play here.
You do not have it in you to ice hawk.
She can skate the skate, but she can't hawk the hawk.
Yeah. Honestly, is Frau Holle really like this cinnamon roll that we've been portraying her as?
I think so. She does she does tar and feather in one way or another.
Which is something that, okay, let's say, so there's an assist trophy in this event, and it's gritty.
So you agree? So do they race to get to Gritty?
Yes.
And then they hold him up and then he shatters and...
Would Gritty looks like something you would find at Baba Yaga's house.
I think those are his legs, like when he takes off his shoes and stuff.
Yes, okay.
I think he would have a lot of affinity with the chicken imagery of Baba Yaga.
Yeah, no.
So, he would lead her to victory. So, another Baba Yaga points.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. And the last event that I have here is curling. You know what curling is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you curl up into a ball.
No. You there's a stone with a handle on it. You throw it down the ice, and then you sweep it to try and get the most points.
Baba Yaga sweeps the air in front of her mortar to clear a path.
Which is very true. And however... mortar versus a good old broom sweeper. Like when it comes to the daily chore of sweeping up, Frau Holle's got that made. I think she's got this is not canonical, but I think she's got a bigger house. If we're going by who cleans up the most.
Well, her house doesn't have to walk around.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the world's first mobile home.
And all Baba Yaga has to open some windows and then get a nice breeze going through, all the dust just leaves. I think she's got less sweeping to do.
Imagine going to an RV park and it's all just chicken huts. Oh, that's like a D&D trailer park.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah.
They're nests and there's eggs and they hatch into smaller, little VW beetles with little chicken legs. So, Frau Holle might have this one.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think, that's 5 and 5 when it comes to these events. So in Classic Olympics, I think they're evenly matched. But as you said earlier, let's talk about some grandmothering.
Yeah, what are some grandmother events? I think making cookies is one.
Best cookies?
Oh, we're talking Eastern Europe. Making padohi.
Padohi?
Yep.
So I guess cooking and baking, those are 2.
Wait, we should have our actual grandmother compete against this.
Oh, man, I think it's possible that she would sweep them in some events.
That doesn't sound fair. She's an 80-year-old woman and they have supernatural witch bones.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Witch bones. I think Hoodwinked Granny might take some back seats to her grandmother in some of these events.
That is some snack. I like it.
I don't know, cleaning church linens. What more can we add?
Oh, if Grandmom can clean church linens and then use those to ward off Baba Yaga.
Yeah. There's a real. She's the id here, right? She's the Christianization.
Oh
incarnate.
Man. Oh man.
But yeah, no. So cooking, cleaning, baking. If those are the 3 events, Frau Holle versus Baba Yaga. Who? All right, let's talk baking. Cooking, sweets. What?
Baba Yaga's would be again bigger swings. like kind of gothy swings, I want to say. Like definitely like spider cookies.
Yeah.
Spider cookies for children.
I think you've got more of a chance of getting the contents of a gelatinous cube in a Baba Yaga, like desserts.
That actually sounds pretty tasty.
Yeah, it's got like, I mean, imagine like little like chocolate raisins and...
D&D is like based on medieval Europe. I think maybe a gelatinous cube, like if you ate it, it would just be like kind of sour. Like
I want to eat a gelatinous cube and I want to have like in D&D I want to like gain the warhead like face. Like the logo face like that.
Canonically that's what happened when you eat a gelatinous cube is you get the warhead's face.
We have a new segment on Fridays where we post D&D homebrew. I'm going to homebrew that.
Okay, cool.
For this week.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, so that condition. So I think Frau Holle's got better baking, but cooking. That's where I think experimentation is going to let Baba Yaga take the lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like a soup or something, like a stew.
Absolutely. And
Baba Yaga's got way more of those like Eye of New kind of recipes and stuff going on.
I would agree. So she's got a larger recipe book. Therefore, she's got more opportunities for different occasions. Mm-hmm. If you were looking for something like kind of spicy but not like overbearing, like she's got you covered. Where I feel like Frau Holle is sticking to like the same like kind of 5 dishes every week.
It's bread, tasty bread. Baba Yaga's Padochi though. That'd be good.
Yeah, I think so. I think she once again would be able to put more dangerous and when it comes to winter cooking. Oh no, I think they're both kind of tasked at that. Here's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. Padochi.
Yeah.
Dough.
Yeah.
Wheat.
Mm-hmm.
Mill. Grinding that.
Mortar and pestle.
She's got to have better dough.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so I think she's got Frau Holle beat on that, who even might mortar and pestle, but she's not known for it.
Also, cabbage strikes me as a very, like, Baba Yaga kind of thing.
It's a little too mean,
Yeah. Well, you could put cabbage in Padochi. Padochi are like pierogies, but they're Slovak.
Yeah. So I think it's more of a taste that Baba Yaga would like swing with. You'd say like, oh, this tastes too much like cabbage for most of her shit. Yeah,
and if you're of Eastern European heritage, or you just want to make like a recipe similar to that era, just like honestly get like. Buy enough butter and cabbage that you think this is too much of these things. And then just throw them in a pot, get it hot, and then do literally anything to it. And you've got some kind of Eastern European thing going on.
Yeah. So I guess it comes, once again, we're evenly matched here. Let's go to the final event, our 13th, which, very...
Okay, spooky which number?
Cleaning.
Cleaning church linens.
Cleaning church linens.
It burns. It burns.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Baba Yaga. You were doing so well.
I don't know. Is Frau Holle any better, though?
I mean, her stories are about kids doing your chores.
Both of them are about kids doing your chores.
Right. And when it comes to Baba Yaga's tasks that she has... they're supernaturally difficult.
Yes.
And you need almost supernatural intervention in the shape of a doll or mice to come and help you out. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a grandmother that's asking a lot. Versus Frau Holle has a very reasonable, like, kind of cleaning and helping demands.
Here's the other thing, is like shaking out the pillow and all that. That strikes me as something that Frau Holle normally does that she needs help with. Mm-hmm. With Baba Yaga, like... If you go to Baba Yaga for, like, a task, like, she will give you something that, like, she does not regularly do.
Yeah, she's not doing, like, the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
So I think Frau Holle has this one in the bag.
Okay. So what's her final score, then?
Final score is Frau Holle, 12, Baba Yaga, 11.
Darn. There we go.
Yeah, so... and she has a better Old-ympic winter gram. Which, I mean, she commands the snow. she made I think Baba Yaga's got more skill sets. I think in a regular Olympics, Baba Yaga would have her beat. But the season gave her the advantage.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll put Baba Yaga against, like, Elphaba in the Summer Olympics next.
Yeah, we'll pull some other one. I do not think that we've seen the last of Baba Yaga on our program.
I think not. No, I mean she's a Slavic monster, and so naturally I've done my homework about her.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of fun Slavic monsters that we can tap into again.
Zmagornich.
Yeah, Baba Yaga, but she's she has the same role as John Wick.
Ooh, fuck, that's so good.
That's pretty good, right?
Can we just do that actually next week?
Not next week's Easter, but in the near future. Yeah, I'm down for that. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're damn down for it.
I'm damn down.
You're damn dibbly down.
All right, let's take Baba Yaga and Frau Holle to the final rating place.
Yeah.
So, Frau Holle.
Frau Holle.
Or do you want to take our winner?
Yeah.
Do you want to rate our winner, then talk about Baba Yaga in the future?
No, that's not fair. Let's rate both of them.
Cool. So I think that Baba Yaga's got such a real good energy and mystery, and I love that she I love our Hellboy culture. That really just kind of brings up this old ass witch. And it's like, yeah, her hut spins and it's on chicken legs and she will make you your kids.
Isn't she literally in Hellboy?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's literally he goes to her often when he needs tips, and she's like, I finally got you. And he's like, yeah, you didn't though.
What do you need? Guns. Lots of guns. I've got just the thing. And then she pulls out a ton of guns, like the Matrix.
So they have a relationship and it's very fun. Not that kind of relationship.
I wasn't going to say it.
But she's got such cool iconography. I love the mortar and pestle flying around on.
Oh, yeah.
She could have just easily been a dumb old broom, like most witches, but she's like, nah, man.
Like most of these Wasik witches.
I love grinding. And so
I'm all about that grind.
Yeah. I'm going to give her an 8.5 out of 10. Because she's got real good monster energy. And Frau Holle, while a loving grandmother, isn't what I go for in your usual monsters. So 6.5.
I think one of the operative differences here is, first off, Baba Yaga is a much more grim seeming figure, whereas Frau Holle is more of a benevolent kind of...
Which is what we gravitate towards in our program.
It's more of a benevolent kind of mother goddess thing, whereas Baba Yaga is more of a threshold guardian into the world of adulthood. And it's interesting then that to get to Frau Holle's realm, you need to go down a well and into the ice level world.
Where Baba Yaga, you just go out into the woods.
Baba Yaga, you just go deep enough into the woods, and it's some place. It's a liminal sort of place where the Feywild, as it were, touches the material plane.
Right.
So, I think that because I just like that symbolism a little more, I think I'm gonna go with giving Baba Yaga a 10, just because she's a classic.
Good, fair 10.
And Frau Holle, I did not know her before we really looked into this for this episode.
Now that you've met her, what do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and say a 7.
Okay.
So it's kind of just a Baba Yaga knockoff. Better at winter sports, though.
I think you roll back the clock enough, these two have the same origin. But that's true to many countries in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So
they all got their independence from England.
Right. So thank you for joining us for another Old-ympic celebration. Old-ympic Winter Grams. Maybe we should return for a summer games.
Maybe.
Some old Olympics. You get some other old deities and have them fight over swimming and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So join us next time as we play some hopscotch on the city streets and introduce everyone to our new best friend.